our faithful listeners, or if you're new to the Almost Athletic podcast, greetings. I am Joseph Welch here with co-host and friend Sumner Darlington, back with another episode 18 of our podcast. Just to give a little rundown of the agenda today, we're going to do the usual training update and then move on to a little bit of current events going on in the world today. We have Joe Biden, as of about 2 hours ago, has stepped down out of the presidential election for 2024. We're going to discuss that and our thoughts on that, and then move into a little bit of sports. We have the USA men's basketball team making their debut for 2024 this weekend. And we have or I guess it's NCAA 25 has released this past week. We're going to give our rundown and our records and our dynasties on that, and then we'll end it off with a good word. So, Sumner, it is good to see you. I saw you yesterday and the day before on your birthday. It's good to see you. How are you?
Thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you for that intro. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on your show, and I'm just excited to be here. Looking forward to discussing.
You say that every time. You say that every time I intro. You say, I'm happy to be
It's
on your
fun.
show.
It's
Thank you
fun.
for being
It's
a
fun when
guest
you
on my
intro.
show.
I feel like I should
I
say
don't know if
thank you
it's necessarily
because
my show.
I know. I know. Well, our show. It's good to be back. The current event things that are happening these last couple weeks that we've been doing this pod just seem to keep coming. So I guess we're just going to keep talking about them in our very, very unprofessional opinion. But yeah, man, as far as training goes, both of us had a rest week this week. So I guess we'll dive into that for a second. I'm actually
Thank
fresh
goodness.
out of the swimming pool. Hair's still wet, actually, from the swimming pool today. Did a quick 2,000-yard swim today, but um, we'll give you a little rundown of the stats. Joseph, I'll go first just to kick us off, and since I'm already talking, um, let's see. So lighter week, obviously, since the rest week. 6.5 hours of activities, 7 total activities, and that breaks down into this. We had wow, this is low. Only 8 miles running. That is interesting. That it seems way low, but nonetheless, I am thankful for that. The knees needed a break. Ride 75 miles, right on the dot. So nice. Obviously, me and you did a 2-hour ride yesterday, a little tour day, Collierville/Towns route, which I thought was fun. And then this week swimming once again, 3,400 yards, pretty short week, and not a whole lot to discuss here. Other than that, we're 6 weeks out from race day. That is a low number. It seems like when we started this, we were talking like 25 weeks out, 20 weeks out, and so wow. We were getting there. It's close to game day.
We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, which I have tried to refrain about thinking about. It seems like every day has been Groundhog Day, waking up and doing essentially the same thing, training, eating, sleeping, training, eating, sleeping, and then waking up and doing it again. But yeah, thankfully, rest week this week, I was stoked for it, which sometimes, I don't know if you feel this way, the rest weeks are hard to get through mentally because you see a 2,000-yard swim or something like that, which is relatively short from what we have been doing. But at the end of the day, you still got to go do those 2,000 yards. Probably takes about 40 minutes,
Yeah.
and you got to put in that time still.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely
yeah,
hard
for
to
me,
stay motivated.
yeah. So for me, just under 9 hours this week, 8 hours, 56 minutes for those counting, and broke down like this. I ran 15 miles. I swam 5,200 yards and biked 77 miles. So that was the breakdown for me. Pretty short and simple week. Rest day today has felt great. Don't have to worry about any sort of training. Going to do some yoga after this probably. I haven't been stretching out. My back's a little tight. Need to loosen up a little bit. So that's on the agenda for today. But next week we kick it off with another 3-week build stretch. I believe you're probably in the same boat of a little bit more tempo oriented workouts, a little bit longer workouts, longer week in terms of hours training. So ought to be fun. We'll see how that goes this next 3-week stretch.
Yeah, should be fun. I would like to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine really an acquaintance, but I like to call him friend. The guy that actually sold my first triathlon bike to, he completed his first Ironman 70.3 today. So shout out to Luke, who I became, I guess, kind of friends slash more Strava friends really than anything else. Um, to
Was
today, he
was it
finished.
was it was it Ohio
It was I don't know. Let me
or the
look.
one in Oregon?
I think it was Oregon.
Holy.
Um, sorry, hang on. Let me look. But he completed it in for a just wow 4 hours and 45 minutes. So shout out to him. I mean,
Holy smokes.
he's a track guy at Union, and so yeah, Ohio 70.3 Ohio. 4 hours 45 minutes. That is quick. I will say that is moving. But hey, shout out to you.
Okay.
Glad the bike is moving properly for you because I think he was averaging 23 miles per hour on the bike. So stud.
Yeah, wow. That's really funny you say that because I have a buddy that also competed in 70.3 Ohio today. He is a decathlete from the University of Tennessee, and he did it in 4 hours and 48 minutes.
Wow.
So your buddy beat him by a close margin, but both insanely quick finish times.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I'd be turning and burning if I'd be overjoyed if that was my time. Anywhere close to that would be awesome. So congrats to those guys. Love to hear about the people putting in work. So let's see what else do we have. I was thinking about today while we were swimming or while I was swimming. Uh, we're 6 weeks out. We haven't really told the people what our travel plans look like. We say we're going to Wisconsin, and obviously that's far away from Memphis, Tennessee, where we live. 10-hour drive, either 10-hour drive, multiple flights, whichever one you want to do. So should we share our travel plans? I think that those are tentatively, or actually, they're probably about 90% locked up. Should we share our travel plans with the people?
Yeah, they're locked in and they're super exciting. I'll go first with mine. I can't wait to drive the 10 hours to Madison, Wisconsin. Me and my sweet mother are driving up there on leaving Thursday before the race. My race is Sunday, Sumner's is Saturday, and we are driving to just outside of St. Louis, which is essentially exactly halfway, just under 5 hours, spending the night Thursday night, driving the rest of the way to the Grand City between the two lakes in Madison. The rest of the way, another 5 hours on Friday. We'll be able to get there nice and early. Check in. I don't know if I check in 2 days early. Sumner will be checking in though, and then yada 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 yada. Race Monday. I'm flying home. So I got a one-way ticket. You have a two-way ticket.
I do. I think it would be a lot easier travel wise if my race was also on Sunday. But since it's Saturday and I've got to get up there, get settled, get everything ready, check in, do all the things, get everything there. Um, we are going to fly, so I'm going to fly Friday morning at 5 a.m. Hopefully through Chicago to Madison. Hopefully get there by 9:30. I think the estimated time of arrival is 9:05, but I'm give or take some minutes, maybe by 10 o'clock. Hopefully be wheels down in
AM or
Madison.
PM?
AM. I would not be getting there 6 hours before the race. That would be a nightmare trying to check in and whatnot. So um, and then so yeah, Friday, and then thankfully, Joseph will be carrying two Cervelo P2s on the back of his car back up to Madison, Wisconsin. Fired up about that, and get a race in.
Which you haven't
Support
explained, by the way. You haven't explained publicly. You got
to
a
the people.
P2 bike. I don't think
Yeah,
you've talked about that on here.
I have not talked about it on the pod. Yeah, got another tri bike. Got a really good deal on it. Got it even cheaper than my first triathlon bike was for. So I figured, may as well get it, and use it for the time being. My brother can use it. My dad wants to actually start racing, so he's going to do a sprint triathlon in 2025. So I'm sure he'll get some use out of it. So it's more of it was kind of a community buy, but also just I kind of am obsessed with, as you know, and I've said many times on this podcast, I'm a gear junkie. And I love having gear to use, and I'm definitely going to get its money's worth. So excited to have that to race with, and I'm just trying to be like you, Joseph. That's all it really is what it comes down to. But yeah, so
Oh man.
I'll probably get you and your mom maybe a flying saucer gift card or something like that for your troubles. And I'll see it up there in Madison. But yeah, then support you Sunday and fly back Monday morning. Later that day, I think we're flying again through Chicago on the way back, so it'll be a good time. So those are the travel plans for Ironman 6 weeks away.
Grand old time. Speaking of Wisconsin, where's Milwaukee? That's Wisconsin, right?
Illinois, isn't it?
The
Is it? No, it is
No, it's
Wisconsin.
not.
Sorry.
It's Wisconsin. The Republican National Convention was this week. I don't know if any of our listeners tuned in. I tuned in for a little bit, but the biggest news of the weekend, Joe Biden has stepped down as the Democratic nominee in the 2024 presidential election. Was it a shock? Was it not a shock? I was honestly kind of surprised. I'd heard on the Twitterverse that he was expected to step down as of or by Sunday, which is today as we are recording this, July 21st. And he hadn't done it yet. And I kept waiting and I was like, I guess he's just not going to do it. Sure enough, after church today, he got the notification. And so I was a little surprised. But not too much because I think everyone has seen this coming. His health is in obvious decline. And I'll pass it to you for your thoughts on the matter.
Well, thank you. Yeah, obviously it came as a shock. I was playing EA Sports College Football when the news broke, and I felt like it was probably coming one way or the other. Rumors had kind of started to break. I've been listening a little bit to some more podcasts in the political atmosphere just to kind of, it's an election year, starting to get my, starting to tune in. I want to make an informed decision come November. So, decided to, been listening, obviously saw the news on Twitter, didn't believe it, or saw it actually in a group message, didn't believe it, then went to Twitter, saw that it was actually confirmed. And, wow, like I said, political bombs are just dropping all over the place these last couple weeks. And it seems like things are pretty lopsided. It's like unity and peacefulness in one party and like utter disarray and dysfunction in another. So
Here's my
Kamala
question,
is now endorsed by the Bidens as the
which was
next
not endorsed in the
candidate.
letter.
Correct, yeah.
In the original letter he tweeted, which is a funny thing on its own, that he didn't make a video statement or anything. He released a letter as if he was decommitting from a college in dynasty mode on NCAA 25. But that's, I guess, another conversation. But he did not endorse Kamala in that letter he tweeted. And so I was like, dang, I guess he's not going to endorse his vice president, which shortly thereafter he did. So I guess, is that going to be the Democratic nomination for the 2024 election, you think?
It seems like it might be for now. They don't have like a clear and obvious like second pick, I don't think. But the thing is that the convention, I think she will have to they will be able to, replace her if they want to. And I think that's like August 2nd or 1st or something. It's early August. So they can replace her then. Or, go ahead and, prop somebody up now and try to, say, hey, we're going to settle this at the convention. I mean, shoot, I don't know if I've, who I would want to run for them, honestly. I mean, it seems like everybody's kind of behind Trump at this point. So, I don't know. I think this race is probably over already. And so I don't think it really matters who they pick. The interesting thing is whether or not they're going to have a vote on it. I guess you have to have a vote on it, but I think she could, if the real question I think is whether Biden serves out the rest of his presidency or retires. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. If he can't go for re-election, is he capable to finish his term? Which some people believe he's just making a decision, like for down the road. I guess his health for some people, or for him, maybe he's thinking it's declined a little bit, but not enough to step down as the current sitting president. But a future decision would be he's not capable to do 4 more years. That's the perspective of some, and then I think many people's perspective, including my own, is if he can't serve the next 4 years, what makes him capable to serve now? He is obviously unfit. Yeah. His health is not there, and he should step down and therefore Kamala would be president. But It hasn't happened yet, so we'll see what the future is to come. My screen time has been out the wazoo the past few days. There's no telling how many times I've refreshed Twitter because there's so much going on, but it's been
Twitter is
interesting.
buzzing. Twitter is back. First of all, talking about what's back. Twitter is back in a huge way. I'm all on Twitter now.
X. It's called X, by the way.
Yeah, excuse me, X.
Elon's app.
I
Elon's
know. I
app is what
followed
I like to
Elon the
call
other
it.
day. I didn't follow him for the longest time, but because
Holy.
he was only tweeting about like rockets and stuff, and I have no interest in that. But now that he's like pretty vocal about his political beliefs, I've been following him just to kind of see what he's weighing in on. Richest man in the world. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, we're no political experts. We're just some dumb 24-year-olds. I'm 23 still. You're 25 now, old man.
Yeah.
But in terms of America, who's back? America's back. USA men's basketball was competing against South Sudan yesterday. Did you tune in for that game?
I did, and just I don't know if you
The
know
whole
this or not,
game?
but they have played. No, I watched the detailed highlights that were 15 minutes long, which is crazy. No basketball game should have 15-minute long highlights, but I think they showed every bucket. So I guess I did kind of watch the game in a shortened span.
I think I
This
watched
is
the
their
same
third
thing.
game, just so you know, third game.
Oh, didn't know.
Yeah, they played. I want to say Canada first, and then they played maybe like another. They played one more game in the middle, and then they played South Sudan. They won the
Are we
second game
undefeated?
by like 60.
Are we undefeated? Did we win the first one?
Yeah, we've won 3 of 3 showcase games. I think there's 3. This is that was the last one. There might be if there is one more. And then we'll go to Paris obviously for the Olympics. But continue as you were saying. I'm sorry to interrupt.
All right, well, yeah, there we go. We're undefeated. And to be honest, I don't understand these showcase games. I don't understand how they're not a part of the Olympics. I think the Olympics start in like 2 days or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But
just a preseason,
regardless,
basically.
preseason. Okay. Preseason for the Olympics. I always knew that was a thing. So those boys from South Sudan were lighting it up.
They're pretty good.
In the very detailed highlights, I didn't watch the full game either, but I did watch the highlights. And they were just hucking up stuff and making every single shot, it seemed. However, I do want to point out, I don't know if you noticed this in the highlights, the stretch at the end of the third quarter was fun for the Americans.
It was.
You had it, I think it kicked off with maybe a Bron breakaway dunk, which I know you love LeBron, and then a Steph 3, then a Clay 3, and then maybe another dunk. It was at least 11-0 run. I think it got up to 14-0, maybe more.
And
that was fun watching all those guys.
Steph hit a long one at the end of the third quarter, which was nice.
Yes.
So,
and not gonna lie, it's fun watching all those guys play together. I mean, they're on different teams in the NBA, obviously, but when they come together, they're powerhouses. But I didn't understand how they couldn't just break away from South Sudan. I mean, that would have been the biggest upset I think ever for the Americans. Would you not say so?
Yeah, it would be up there for sure. I don't know if you saw Steve Kerr talking about LeBron. Interesting stuff. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, he said.
Oh, Steve Kerr, another one of my favorites.
Yeah, I know you hate Steve Kerr, but well respected coach in the NBA circle. On every single drill, LeBron talks. His voice behind the play, yelling out what's happening. The scheme, his leadership is leadership by example. The guy is incredible. I've known that forever, but to see it up close is pretty special. LeBron's the GOAT, dude. I don't care what anybody says. Best basketball player ever. Just makes everybody around him better. And the Warriors should probably trade for him if they knew it was smart for them.
Well, the Lakers have Bronny now, so they are stuck with LeBron.
True.
Or are they stuck with Bronny, should I say? Paying him a ridiculous amount of money for doing nothing in the G League. We weren't planning on talking about this. G League troubles. Grizz. Edie missed, I think, 4 games in college, and now he's tore his ankle. Or not tore his ankle, but he twisted his ankle. Ankle sprain already in the summer league. I mean, can the Grizz catch a break? It's the worst thing ever.
They're probably also he could probably play. They're holding him out for it's the summer league. No one really needs to play if you're a first round draft pick, especially top 10 pick. I mean, I'm fine with it. Let's just get him to the season.
I feel bad for him though. He opted out of the Olympics, the Canadian team, to play for Grizz G League summer, or I guess just summer league.
Yeah.
So it sucks for him, but we'll see how it goes moving forward. And also with the Olympics, I want to hear your thoughts talking about who's back of the week.
Shout out, pardon my
The
take
Olympics
for
are
that
back.
segment.
Yeah, I know. We're totally stealing it from them, but it's true. The Olympics. But here's my question. The burning question, which we created.
Okay, now we're
Um,
back on track.
Now we're back on track. Does anyone even care about the Olympics anymore?
I think you got to say. I think if you were to poll everyone in the country, the majority of it would be yes, people care. I think where the United States is missing like its Olympian. Like I feel like for the longest time, like the Winter Olympics had at least in our lifetime, the Winter Olympics had Shaun White, the Summer Olympics had Michael Phelps, or Kobe and LeBron. Like it was like always there was always our Olympians who we were sending to conquer the world. It seemed like, and or I'm trying to think of the Usain Bolt, like somebody like that, to somebody to root for that everyone likes. And right now we're missing that, especially in the Winter Olympics. There's nobody that's like a stud American who's polarizing enough to get people to watch. The Summer Olympics are have more exciting sports, at least in my opinion. Like I think track and field is elite. I think this is the first time I'll probably watch the Olympic triathlons and marathon stuff, just because being into it, and also basketball is also really fun. Uh, I think it'd be hilarious for the Olympics to add American football to the mix. I think that would be one way to get people to watch. But yeah, I think the reason why the Olympics has fallen off is we're missing, that one American that we send every year that is our conquering hero. We need somebody to be the new Michael Phelps. We need another swimmer, another fish.
Well, some may argue her name's Katie Ledecky. I mean, I think she pretty
Really?
much does just about as much as Phelps has done up until like wherever he was in his career to wherever she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess to preface everything, you said that if you polled Americans if they cared about the Olympics, the majority would say yes.
Is that not true?
But well, no, I'd have
Oh,
no
I thought you had a
evidence to
stat
back that
ready to
up.
go. Okay, all right, never mind.
No. Well, my stat is they're not watching. If that's the case, I mean, I would say I care about the Olympics, but I haven't tuned in nearly as much as I did in 2008 and 2012.
Yeah.
For instance, let's see here. I've got some sort of stats. I mean, everyone can always get pull stats that help their point of view, but I will say the Tokyo Summer Olympics of 2020 quotations. It was really 2021. It was delayed a year due to COVID, which you would think would bring more excitement. At least I would think. I mean, you had to wait 5 years for the Olympics instead of 4. It would create booming viewership. Also, if everyone's sitting at home, what else is on the TV but to watch besides the Olympics? Well, the Tokyo Summer Olympics was the least watched primetime Olympics on record, summer or winter. And then fast forward to 2022, the Winter Olympics, same sort of deal, one of the lowest rated viewership Olympics ever. So what's the deal? I mean, is American nationalism in decline? Does America, I guess this is your argument, not have the athletes as we did in 08 and 012 and 2016 with Michael Phelps and all them and the Redeem team basketball? I just like worry. I mean, why is no one watching the Olympics? No one watches the opening ceremony anymore. But like you said with basketball, it was Kobe, LeBron, KD. Well, now it's LeBron, KD, and Steph. Same sort
Yeah.
of players on the basketball team.
Yeah.
I don't know why people aren't tuning in anymore. I think you have an argument in terms of who broadcasts the games.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think if NBC gave up the right, they never would do this because it's like I guess they're probably their moneymaker. But and I'm using this strictly off of what I hear on Twitter or surrounding NBC's golf coverage, because I follow a lot of golf people that just to stay updated on kind of because I don't really watch golf unless it's a major, but I follow people to kind of update me on stuff that's going on. Which speaking of, there's a major today, the Open, which is the one that I don't really care about because it's so far away, but I don't even know who won, so if you want to do that quick research, that'd be great. We could probably shout them out. But if NBC gave up the rights for the Olympics to ESPN or CBS or someone else, I feel like it would be watched more because from what I know or from what I've heard on Twitter, NBC sports coverage is almost unwatchable. it's so hard to like find what you want to watch. Like ESPN does, whether it's Wimbledon or the Masters, they have all the different courts or all the different like featured groups, and like you can watch. So I feel like if ESPN did it, you could literally go on the ESPN app on your TV, pick, okay, I want to watch swimming, or I want to watch track and field, or I want to watch basketball. Whatever's going on in the Olympics at the time, you could click on it and watch it. When that's probably not the case for NBC. So I feel like if they were to give up the rights somehow, that would probably boost the ratings, though at least the watches. Maybe not people saying they like it, but the watch for sure I think would improve.
Yeah, and I think it is. To be fair, I think some of the viewership numbers are skewed because there are, I think, sometimes streaming numbers that aren't included in the viewership numbers. I don't know how all that works, but with streaming nowadays, that obviously wasn't a thing in the early 2010s, and so that may skew the numbers. I'm not sure, but do you want to know who won the Open Championship?
Yeah.
Who do you, if you had a guess, who would you think it would
Last I
be?
saw, Xander was winning.
All right, well, yes, he came out on top. Xander
Really, second
Schauffele.
major, second ever major in the same year. Wow, good for him.
Yeah, he was one. Justin Rose and Billy Horschel tied for second, and then T. Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence playing golf now
I guess so.
came in fourth.
Wow.
Tr-
Well, shout out to
Thriston.
Zandy. Shout out to Xander. Good for him. Joseph, I think it's time to talk about what everyone wants to talk about. What everyone has been talking about for the last 6 days. EA Sports College Football 25. Uh, I thought it was hilarious. I watched a Pat McAfee clip, and they said 2K Sports College Football, and I thought that was hilarious because it is in fact not 2K. And they fully believe that it was 2K. So it's not. It's EA Sports. Been waiting for this game to come out for 12 years, and it has lived up to every expectation that I've had. I'm actually currently behind this camera here. I'm looking at my college dynasty. I'm up 7 on Alabama at the moment with the Missouri Tigers.
On what, rookie mode?
No, I'm on All American for all of my settings. Heisman is way too difficult, and varsity's way too easy. And so it seems like All American is the sweet spot. I'm in a group message. We all voted that All American is the best to play on. If you want a challenge, but also still to be pretty reasonable in the computer being not insanely good. The first thing I did was play Neyland Stadium, Tennessee versus Kentucky, home game at night, black jerseys, and it was awesome. I literally was like I actually let out a couple hoops and hollers in my first game. Took a kickback to the crib, which doesn't happen in Madden. It was like at that moment I was like, man, this game is fully back. It's awesome. There's some glitches in there every once in a while. I do have some gripes with. I think they made it too difficult. I think in some cases, I think the defense is like way too good. Like the players are like overlapping on zone where like they wouldn't really probably in uh in real life. And then like I think that some of the throws are not really like you'll be throw it on the money like 3 times in a row, and then you'll try to do the same thing and they'll underthrow it by 10 feet and it'll get intercepted, and you're just like, well, I didn't do that. And for those real gamers out there, they're probably having zero issues with it, but for somebody who's trying to catch up to probably like the 10-year-olds out there, it's pretty difficult, but it's so much fun. I will never not play this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I would never pay for this game or pay for an Xbox to play this game, but thankfully my brother has done that for me. So I have had the opportunity to play, and it's fun. I mean, I have fun when I'm playing. I suck. I've only won one game. I've never done a dynasty mode or anything like that. So anyone listening can probably discredit anything I say about it, but I had to play Appalachian State as Oregon to get a win on varsity mode. No, on all or whatever the default is. I don't know. I haven't changed any of the settings. Maybe it's all American. Hopefully
Yeah.
it is, because I'm just a pick machine. I think I averaged 4 picks a game. My first drive, this is how it went. I guess multiple drives. I was Seth Hennigan on the Memphis Tigers playing Ole Miss. And actually, I did win that game. I've won 2 games. That was my first game playing. It was pick, delay of game, pick six, another pick. Those were my first 3 plays from scrimmage. And from there, I figured it out, though. I don't know. I mean, Reese Davis commentating was saying that Seth Hennigan was in the Heisman running already after beating Ole Miss at home. And so hopefully that remains true for this year in real life. But yeah, I played a few different matchups. I just do the exhibition games. I played Madison. I played in Madison, Wisconsin as Alabama, lost by 3, missed a field goal. Field goals are ridiculous if you try to play them or try to do them in an
It was
away
hard.
stadium.
Very hard.
I mean, it was just like the biggest miss
Ooh,
ever.
good point
And
about
then
the
I
away
played
stadium.
as, huh?
It's almost impossible to win an away game. Like it's so difficult. Like Vanderbilt is like not a loud place, and it's like I can't make an audible. I'm like, half these fans should be my fans. Like Vanderbilt has 0 attendance at any of their games, and I'm getting my receivers can't tell what audible I'm trying to call. I'm like, I would understand if this is like LSU at night, like Texas A&M, like they have Texas A&M up really high, or Georgia or Alabama or like Tennessee, but like we're at freaking Vanderbilt, or like I'm at I don't know, NC State, and they're like, I can't check a play call. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, the away games are almost impossible to win.
Yeah, the away games were tough. It was a heartbreaker. Missed a field goal to tie it up as time expired. But yeah, I played a few other games. I figured out how to audible for the first time since this game's come out, and I figured out sort of how to do an RPO. The worst thing ever was calling an RPO play, not realizing that it was an RPO, and you go to pass and your guy's running with the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I never figured out that before. But yeah, shout out to my brother. He is the OC at Sam Houston, and he just lost in the semifinals of the playoffs to Georgia. So I think he may leave to go to a bigger program, or he may stay. He said last I talked to him, he said he's riding with his boys at Sam Houston. He recruited them. He loves them. Those are his boys. So
it sounds like
we'll
the Texas
see if he
A&M
stays
baseball
there.
coach.
Yeah, probably. I'll give an update next week on where Jacob has landed if he moved on from Sam Houston.
Well, I started my OC career at the great Tulane University. I thought they had cool jerseys, so I started there. Went 10-3. I did not make the playoff. I played in like some American Bowl, which is kind of dumb because I was 9-3, and I was like ranked like 22nd. I thought I deserved to be a little bit higher, but had a good year. Went 10-3, won our bowl game, and Missouri offered me the OC position. I decided to accept, and I'm gonna give it at least 3 seasons at Missouri. I think I've got a pretty stud recruiting board. Lost out on the number 2 ranked player in the country was from St. Louis, Missouri, and he decided to commit to Ohio State, which is beyond me because I started out like number 1 on his recruiting board, and then Ohio State jumped up there, and I just didn't understand it. Like he's literally a
That's a
homegrown
huge
defensive
loss.
end.
In-state boy.
I know. I gotta I really gotta put a fence around our state border if I'm gonna talk coach speak. I gotta put a fence around our border, keep our guys home. And the Missouri Tigers were ranked number 9 in the country right now. Offense is really, really good. Got a transfer quarterback in from Kansas State. It's Avery Johnson actually is his name. Covered his recruitment at On3, so that was kind of cool to see him in the game and get him to transfer to my school. And so I'm excited. He's really good at running the ball, except he fumbles it just about every time he runs, which is really, really disappointing because that's not realistic at all. That's another thing that EA should fix is the fumbles because, you just don't fumble on every play. That's just not football. And but other than that, it's really fun. It makes me so mad this game, but like I said, I'm never going to not play it. So
I've got a
I'm
question
done.
for you.
Okay.
I would almost argue Tulane OC to Missouri OC is a very lateral move.
Well, you got to think
in the
about
game,
it.
in my opinion.
The Missouri was 11-1 in this game, prior to me coming here. So they're top team in the SEC. Obviously
but with the expanded playoffs, you get one group of 5 team in there. You could just run stuff with Tulane because they're good. Honestly, they had a really good year a few years ago.
Yeah,
And in my opinion, they're the second best team in the American. So you could have went on a little run. Would it work? Could you bring Tulane to a Power 5 conference or Power 4?
Probably. I probably could. I don't know. You can
I think
change
that would have
around the
been the move.
conferences before you start. You can change around the conferences. I don't know if after you start you can though. I don't know.
Hmm.
But SEC. I'm gonna stay with the Missouri Tigers until Tennessee's head coaching job opens up, and then I will take the Tennessee head coaching job.
Then probably pull a Lane Kiffin there.
No, if I get the Tennessee job, I'm sticking it out. I'm there to win national championships, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm done with EA Sports. If you got a good word or anything else you'd like to get off your chest.
I can find a good word unless you have one off the top of your dome.
Let's see here.
I don't know. I think I've got a quote on my bookmark I found the other day.
Let's hear the quote. While you're pulling that up, I will say a little good shout out. Good word is ECS 8th grade football team. We're back in business. This is my year 2 of coaching QBs and receivers at ECS for 8th grade football. Fired up about it. It's my favorite act of service to the community. I do not get paid for this, but it is very fun getting to pour into the youth of this age. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Year 2, I can't wait to update you guys on games and stuff like that.
Year 2 campaign. Good luck to you. We'll see how it goes.
We're building a
I
dynasty.
do have a quote from an Oregon man, an Oregonian. I recently read Shoe Dog, which is a book on how Nike was created, and Phil Knight being the founder of Nike. And he said he is quoting this from the movie Bucket List. Have you ever seen the movie Bucket List?
No, I have not.
Me either. So I'm putting Bucket List on my bucket list of movies to watch. See what I did there? Well, he said in this movie, someone said, you measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. Think about that for a moment. I'll repeat it. You measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. So I thought that was pretty inspiring and kind of hinted at being a role model to others, being an inspiration to others. You don't know what people or who is looking up to you or watching your actions. Actions speak louder than words. And as we all know in this life, I have people I look up to, and they may not necessarily know that I look up to them. And some people may do that for us too, or our listeners listening. And so I think it is important to be a light and be an honorable person, make the right decisions when no one is looking, when seemingly no one is looking, because you never know who is. And so that is my good word for today. I enjoyed that quote. I wrote it on my bookmark so I could reference it every now and then. So yeah. Shoe Dog, by the way, Shoe Dog is a great book on the story of Nike. I recommend it. It's an entrepreneurial book.
Have
It's
you
pretty
watched
good.
Jordan, the movie or Air on the
I
movie
watched Air.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
As well. Okay, well that's good. That's a good word for sure. Interesting quote. I'm gonna have to think about that to really get it. But I think I get it. So
I can text it to you.
okay, thanks. All right, well that is it for episode 18 of the Almost Athletic podcast. Joseph, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna get back to the Missouri Tigers and my dynasty. So with that,
all right, GG, brother.
we will see you next week.